One of my technical interview, my manager round, he asked for only one question. He asked, hey, what is CI/CD? If you explain this one clearly, interview will be over, because that's such an important concept. Whenever developers write code, we integrate where that code of all developers in GitHub at that point of time. Then we build, we test, we deliver or deploy to the client. This process we call CI/CD. Got it? So Jenkins helps in achieving this one. Jenkins is acting like a central hub. So instead of doing night builds, right? Earlier we used to do night builds. Earlier, whole day developers used to write the code. Whole day. During nights we used to build during nights. Again, next day, whole day developers used to write night. That's what we call night builds. But that is not the case nowadays. As and when developers write the code, they push code to GitHub. Immediately Jenkins will pull the code, it will build immediately. So that's what now building happens immediately then and there. Okay. See, this also we call SDLC. The CI/CD also we call SDLC. Tell me guys, can we call this one as SDLC or not? What is SDLC? Anyone?
Yes, we called that is software development lifecycle.
Software development lifecycle. Can we call this CI/CD as SDLC?
Yes, sure.
Right? See, what I explained in SDLC? Software development lifecycle. That means building, testing, checking quality, deploying, maintenance, monitoring. That's what the stages we call SDLC, right? Same stages, right? Here developing, building, testing, checking quality, deploying, finally monitoring. So same thing, whatever I explained in demo. Okay. Yeah. No. So instead of doing night builds, build as and when commit occurs. That's what commit, add, commit, and push. Whenever push occurs, by integrating all code in source code management tool, means if Git. Then after that we build, test, checking quality. Till checking quality, that is what we call continuous integration. Till checking quality. So in a day, there will be so many integrations in GitHub. There will be so many builds. Continuously happens, right? Continuous testing, then continuous delivery or deployments. Okay, every now and then it happens. So bug will be reported first. I am not saying that there won't be any bug, because ultimately who is writing code? Developer. That too manually he is writing the code. Bug will be there. But while building, it will throw an error while testing and all. So bug will be reported fast, because we are building and testing then and there. So bug will be reported fast and rectified fast. So development happens fast. That's the advantage that we are getting over here. Okay. There are some important words that you must know, because these words we use again and again. Integrate, combine all code written by developers at particular point of time. That's what we call integrate. That happens in GitHub. Okay. Build, compile that code and making a small executable package, any installable application, converting entire source code into any installable application, that we call build. So in our project, we are going to convert this entire source code into WAR file, which we are going to deploy in Tomcat server or any application server. So you can think entire IRCTC application is one WAR file. Okay. You take entire Uber application is one WAR file. Entire Ola application is one WAR file. Entire, that Swiggy application is one WAR file. Okay, that's all. So converting entire source code into any installable application, that process we call build. Test means testing in all environments, whether that application is working fine or not. Okay, we test the code as well as we install that application and we test whether the application is compatible with Windows machines or not, Linux machines or not. That's what we call testing. Sometimes archive, this also is it. The end product is right, WAR file that we store in one tool. We store that we call Artifactory. We have many Artifactories are there, like Sonar, this Nexus Artifactory is there, JFrog Artifactory is there. So that end product we store so that we may use again for ourselves, or we may deliver the client to deliver again. Okay. So just storing end product that we call archive, that we store in any Artifactory. Okay. See, GitHub is a place where we store source code. Artifactory is a place where we store end product. So don't get confused. I'm repeating. GitHub is a place where we store source code. Artifact is a tool where we store end product, like this war file. Okay. That also we can integrate with Jenkins. Okay. Once quality checking is over, then we can integrate artifact into Jenkins so that the end product will be stored. Like I told you, right? We can attach as many tools that you want. Okay. Finally, deliver means handling that product to, that's what, giving that product, not handling. Okay. Yeah, giving that product to client. Okay, handing over to client. Deploy means directly installing product in client's machine. Guys, you can think, either you can use the word install or deploy. Both are same. Installation or deployment, both are same. So don't get confused. Now, see, as I said, we attach Git, Maven, Selenium, Artifactory, these plugins to Jenkins. That's what. Without plugin, you can't even attach any tool with Jenkins. So it's all about plugins, and by default we get thousands of plugins with Jenkins. We have a plugin for each and every tool in Jenkins. Okay. So once developers put the code, these are just workflow. Okay. Developers put the code in GitHub, Jenkins pull the code, send to Maven for build. Once build is over, it will pull that code, send to Selenium for testing. It is over, then send code to Artifactory. Like we can deploy with Jenkins also. And this is a workflow of Jenkins. Okay, this is what you have to explain in interviews. So ways of continuous integration. What are the ways? There are total 3 ways. The first way is we can do manually. That's what we used to do earlier when there was no this tool. Earlier we used to do manually. Manually we store code in one machine. Then we used to build manually. We used to test manually. That's what earlier. This entire thing we can achieve by using scripts also. If you want automation, you can write some scripts to achieve the CI/CD automation process. But everyone cannot write scripts, right? And writing scripts, it's not a small thing. It's not easy, correct? So that's why we are using tool. Using tool is pretty handy, right? That's why we are using tool, because everything is already predefined. Okay, so tool, everything is already ready. Just we have to use the tool. Okay. Benefits of CI. Okay, this process, CI/CD process. First one, we are achieving complete automation. That means here we are saving a lot of time, correct? Complete automation. Bugs will be reported fast so that they will be rectified fast. So there won't be any issues. And you can stop SDLC. Here we have a flexibility also is that we can stop process at any point of time. I told you, right? If you want to go with manual, you can detach Maven with Jenkins so that you can go with manual build. You can detach Selenium with Maven with Jenkins so that you can go for manual testing. That's up to you. That's either you want to go with the complete automation or you want to break this SDLC process. You can do if you want to have manual thing. Okay, if you want to have complete control. And also it maintains history. Logs and all will be stored. In Jenkins keeps track of each and every activity. Whenever something goes wrong, you can verify those logs clearly so that we can come to know what actually happened, and we can keep this one as a reference for future, so that these mistakes should not get repeated. Okay. So here I told you, right, Jenkins is acting like a CI/CD tool. Along with Jenkins, we have so many other tools. Okay, it's not mandated that you have to use Jenkins only. See here, we have competitors for each and every tool. In place of GitHub, right, you can use SVN, Subversion. In place of Maven, some people they use Ant. Selenium in place of that they use Ant. Checkstyle in place SonarQube and all. In place of Ansible, some people they use Chef and also Puppet. Like competitors are there always. It's same like Jenkins. In place of Jenkins, you can use TeamCity. As someone already said, TeamCity, Bamboo, and Circle CI. Like many tools are there. But why are we using Jenkins only? Because we are getting so many advantages in Jenkins. So many. See here, let's talk about all those advantages on them. First advantage, it has so many plugins. Yes, it's all about plugins. So many plugins means so many tools that we can attach with Jenkins. That's the meaning, right? Okay, you can create your own plugin. Suppose you have invented one new tool. Okay, what you can do, you can write your own plugin. You can create, but that's not actually required, because that creating plugin will be done either in Java We have to write code to create plugin, either in Java or Groovy. Groovy is a script. Groovy script. Either Java or Groovy. Groovy is also kind of Java. Let me just show you. Groovy. Even though Groovy is a script, it is kind of programming language. It's not so easy to learn, kind of tough, complex, see. Yeah, you can see this is a script, Groovy script. Okay. So this script we use to create any plugin, Groovy script. Okay, remember that. You can use community plugin. There are some community plugins are there which are available. Those also you can make use of those plugins. Okay, don't worry about creating plugins and all. That's beyond the scope of this course. Okay, they will never ask you to create plugin because that's not so easy. For that, you have to have a new tool, your own tool, right? Yeah. So that is one thing. It's a some advantages are related to plugins. And Jenkins is not just a tool; it is a framework. See, what is the difference between tool and framework? Tool is something that you cannot modify. You have to use as it is, the way they are giving. For example, we talked about Git. Right? Git commands, Git pull, Git push, Git commit, Git add, right? Git checkout. There are tools, commands are there. Can you modify those commands? No. Suppose I don't like the command Git push. I would like to change this to command. Is it possible? No, you can't change it. Docker, Docker run, Docker commit. Can we change those tools? No. Ansible? No. You have to use the way they have given. You can't change. Tool is something that you cannot change, but Jenkins is something that you can change. Framework means framework is something that you can change. So that's why Jenkins is not just a tool. It is a framework. That means you can modify as per your needs. You can do whatever you want with Jenkins. All you need is plugins. So by using plugins, you can modify Jenkins as per your needs. That's why we call Jenkins is not just a tool, it is a framework. Okay. That is one more advantage that you can, that means you have flexibility that you can modify. And also we can attach slaves to Jenkins. See here, Jenkins is doing a lot of hard work, correct or not here? You can see Jenkins is doing a lot of hard work. Okay. That's why what we can do to distribute Jenkins load, we can have slaves. We can have slaves. Those could be internal slaves, virtual slaves, or could be external slaves. External slave means external EC2 instance. Okay, we call slaves. So what we can do by using these slaves, we can distribute Jenkins excessive load burden to these slaves. These slaves, they take excessive load of Jenkins. Okay, these we call slaves or worker nodes. Those could be internal. Internal means virtual slaves. External means extra EC2 instance. We are going to see both. Okay. We can attach slaves to Jenkins master. Okay, main Jenkins we call master. These we call slaves. External machines we can attach. So when you attach slaves, Jenkins instruct the slaves to do the job. Jenkins will assign some task to these slaves. Hey, slave 1, you do this task. Slave 2, you do this task, like that. Okay. So if slaves are not available, then Jenkins itself does the job. If you don't have slaves, then Jenkins has to do its work, right? There is no other option. See, if you are a class senior, then you assign tasks to other students. But there are no students. You are the only one in the class. You have to do your job, right? Correct. That's it. Okay. And Jenkins also acts like a cron server replacement. Cron. See, what is this cron? Cron is a tool that is there in Linux. Default tool in Linux. The purpose of this tool is to schedule some jobs. If you want to do any job repeatedly, further we use cron tool. Cron. Okay, repeated jobs. Okay, actually there's a tool of Linux. In every Linux machine, you get that tool by default. Okay, in every Linux machine. The same tool is available in Jenkins also. That means that same scheduling tasks we can do in Jenkins also. See, we can do repeated tasks automatically. Any kind of task. If you want something to be run automatically every day, further we use a tool called cron. That is there in Jenkins also. See, like example, daily alarms. In your mobile, you keep alarm, right? You can keep like every day at 6 a.m. it should trigger, right? So that's what every day you are doing something, right? So similar kind of activities that we can do in Jenkins. Okay. That we can do, and also we can create labels. Okay. Label in the sense, see, it deals with actually slaves. This is Jenkins. Okay. Let's take slaves. So when you have work, when Jenkins is, if it is having a lot of work, randomly distributes the task to these slaves randomly. That we can't control. Jenkins will decide which task should be assigned to which slave. Okay. But if you want control, hey, I want this kind of job should be assigned to slave 1. I want this kind of job should be assigned to slave 2. If you want control, then you can have with the help of labels. You can restrict where the project has to run. Project or job you can call. You can decide that, hey, this job should be executed in slave 2. This job should be executed in slave 1. You can decide which job should be executed in which slave. Okay, if you want. If you don't want, then Jenkins will decide automatically. So that we can do by using labels. Don't worry, as of now, don't, even if you are not understanding, that's fine. Because when I show practically, that time things will be more clear. Okay. Jenkins architecture. It is a client-server model, guys. Client-server means this is Jenkins slaves. You can have internal slaves or external slaves. I'm not talking about these Maven, Git and all. No, I'm talking about slaves. So one is server, remaining are clients. That's how we call client-server model. Ansible is also client-server model. Ansible server, remaining all nodes, right? Server, clients, like that. When you install Jenkins, it acts like a master. Yeah. Wherever you install Jenkins, that acts like a master. Okay. And you can have slaves, external slaves you can attach. Jenkins invoke these clients to perform jobs. Yeah. Jenkins will assign these tasks to clients. Means that's what workers to perform jobs. Slaves. Okay. Supported operating systems. You can install Jenkins in any operating system. Okay, whether it is Windows, Linux, everywhere, we are going to do it in both machines. Okay. See, whether you install in Windows or Linux, it doesn't make any difference. Why? Because at the end of the day, you are going to access Jenkins through browser only. For example, my laptop is it is Windows. I'm using AWS account. Your laptop is it is Mac. You are using AWS account. One more laptop is it is Linux, Red Hat or CentOS. You are using AWS. AWS account remains same, right? The options and all, because ultimately we are doing all these things in browser, correct? So that's why it doesn't make any difference, with respect to underlying operating system. Here also same thing, whether you install in Windows or Linux or any operating system doesn't make any difference. Why? Because at the end of the day, you are going to access Jenkins through browser only, through web. Okay, that's why I'm going to show you in both Windows and Linux both. Okay, and we are going to choose long-term support release. While installing Jenkins, yes, tomorrow we are going to install, that time I'll show you. While installing, we'll get two kinds of packages. One is LTS, we call long-term support release, and one is weekly release. Okay, long-term support release means this is a package that is tested and certified that it is working fine. So we will get support from Jenkins community. Weekly release means every week they release new updates and all for that installation package. Okay, that generally if you want testing, that further you can use, but generally in production environments and all in companies we use LTF, long-term support release, so that we'll get support which is tested and certified that it is working fine. In order to install Jenkins, okay, there are some prerequisites. First you have to install Java, then you have to install web server. See, to install because Jenkins, that they have created this tool by writing code in Java. By using Java only, they created the Jenkins. That's why to install Jenkins, Java is mandatory, prerequisite. It doesn't mean that you have to know Java. No. See, you remember, right? We discussed Ansible, correct? We learned Ansible. But to install Ansible, Python is prerequisite. But did we learn Python there? No. Python is required to run Ansible. It doesn't mean that to use Ansible, you should know Python. No. Backend, it uses Python backend. In the same manner, to install Jenkins, Java is prerequisite. And also web server, because Jenkins you are going to access through browser. So for that, we need web server package. Okay. These are prerequisites that we have to install before we install Jenkins. Okay. There are two types of editions, guys, enterprise edition and open source. In Ansible also, see, Ansible is open source. Ansible is open source, free. And there is one more thing is Ansible Tower. There is no difference, but this Tower is not open source. It is enterprise version. Same like it is like a CentOS. CentOS is free. Red Hat Linux is RHEL is not free because you need to pay some amount to company because you'll get support from the company. There is no difference. You can use anyone, but here it's open source free. It's belongs to company called Red Hat company Ansible. So you need to pay bit amount to company and your company will support you if you get any errors and all. Okay. So here also Jenkins is open source. Hudson is enterprise edition of Jenkins. But mostly in companies we use open sources because no client wants to waste their money unnecessarily paying to companies and all. Okay, that's the reason. You learn anyone, same, you don't find any difference. There are 3 types of configurations. Don't worry, as of now, even if you're not understanding, don't worry, because practically when I show all these things, that time things will be more clear. Okay, just a kind of introduction. Theory before we jump into practicals. Okay. So there are 3 types of configurations in Jenkins. Global, node, and job configuration. That means, see, global configuration means whatever changes you do at global level, global configuration. That means those changes applicable to entire Jenkins. Like Prime Minister of India, whatever decisions he take, those rules, regulations will be applicable to entire pan-India. Correct? Node configuration means the slaves, external slaves. Whatever changes you do at node level, node configuration level, those are applicable to that particular node. Chief Minister rules applicable to only that particular state. That's what. Job configurations. So we are going to create so many jobs. So whatever changes you do at job level configuration, whatever changes, configuration settings you do at job level, those are applicable to only. So there are 3 types of settings that we do. Global configurations, whatever you do here, that will be applicable to entire Jenkins, including jobs, including nodes. Node configuration applicable to only node level. Job configuration applicable to only job level. I'll tell you more about this job. What is this job? How to attach nodes and all. What this global configuration will show you practically. Okay. Fine. This is a theory of Jenkins. Okay, theory. What we'll do in tomorrow's class, we are going to jump into practicals. The entire practical things, it takes one class because first what we'll do, first we'll install in Windows Jenkins. Then we'll install in Linux also. Windows means I'll take my laptop, that's Windows. Linux will launch one EC2 instance, there we'll install. So what are the tools that we are going to install? First, we are going to install Git. Then we'll install, Java. Then we'll install Maven. Then we'll install Jenkins. Okay. Maven also, we have separate classes after Jenkins. Okay. So why are we installing Git? See, to install Jenkins, the only prerequisite is Java. To install Jenkins, only prerequisite is Java. But why are we installing Git and Maven? Because we are going to connect Jenkins. We are going to take code from GitHub. Then we need to build that code by using Maven. Correct? So that's why we are going to install Git and Maven also. To show that build process and all, how it works and all, everything. Okay. That's why first we'll install Git, then Java, Maven, then Jenkins. Then after that, I'll show you how to install in Linux also. That entire thing, it takes one complete class that freshly we are going to see tomorrow. Today, I'll uninstall everything from my laptop. I think in my laptop already, these things are there. Let me just show you. C drive. Yeah, you can see Ant is there. Jenkins is there. Okay, all these tools are there. So what I'll do tomorrow, I'll uninstall all these tools. Java also is there. Git is there. You can see Java is there. So tomorrow I'll uninstall all these things from my laptop. I'll keep it clean so that I can show you from the scratch. Okay, I'll install in front of you. Okay, so that you should not get any errors. Got it? So that's it for today. If you have any doubts, you can ask me now.